name's Joyce, and for today's story time, it's a doozy. It's a suppressed memory that I thought would never come back up again. But see, the way my story times work is that I list out all these memories I've ever had about anything that's happened in the past, and then I do randomized number 1 through, let's say, 12. Well, number 3. Oh boy. Okay, so in high school, I was in this program called ROTC, which stands for Reserved Officer Training Corps. Their whole thing was about teaching you how to be a good leader and, about respect. A lot of military type like qualities, but their thing was like, hey, you don't have to join the military after this. But no, I'm pretty sure a lot of people afterwards join the military. It's kind of like, oh, you don't have to adopt this cat, but you can pet it. You touched it? Okay, that's yours now. So that's how it felt. But basically in ROTC, I was in there for 3 years. I gained a lot of friends, gained a lot of experiences, got to travel. I went to the military station in Pensacola, Florida. It was a great experience. Some not so great experiences. And this one is one that I tried to bury deep inside of my mind, but I remember. So here is how it went. So I'm in, I believe, 10th grade. And every year there's this thing called military ball. Now, this is for everybody in ROTC. It's kind of like our prom, and everybody can go. You don't have to be a senior. And there's always like a military court, princesses and all that. I don't remember if that's something you vote for or you sign up, but there's that as well. It's a whole thing. It's a shindig. It's fun. And at this point, I've started to gain a lot of confidence. I was like, hey, this particular guy, kind of like, let me ask him to the military ball. So while in the wardrobe in the back, because there's this corner where all the military uniforms were, and that's where you check out your outfit. He worked there. And I was like, hey, getting my confidence on. I was wondering, would you like to go to military ball with me? And I'm like excited in my head. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm being so brave. I'm asking this dude out. It's going to be great. But then he rejects me. And he says, I don't date your kind. I'm like, oh, my kind, as in, oh, like, because he's an officer and I'm just barely getting into the officer rank. That's what he meant. Nope. He meant my kind. This dude rejected me because of my race, or my ethnicity, rather, because we're all humans. And I was just stunned. I was like, that didn't just happen. No. So I walked out. I walked straight out. I'm like, there's nothing else to say. That was weird as fuck. I get really sad throughout the day. I'm like, I thought he was better than this. I thought he was a good dude. But then I go home. I tell a relative. I'm like, hey, this happened. Was this a microaggression of some sort? He's like, no, people just have their types. I'm like, okay. And years later, I bring this up to a coworker, and she's like, no, that was full on racist. That was, no. So I'm just like, oh, cool. So a relative didn't support me when I needed them. That's great. Anyways, so that's what happened in high school. I, to this day, don't know what he's up to. I used to have him as a friend on Facebook, but after a while, I was like, why am I friends with you on Facebook? Every time I see your face, I'm brought back that memory, and I don't need to see what's going on in your life because I don't care. So I unfriended him. And that's it. That's what happened in high school. That's the memory I have and can't suppress for some reason. Has anything like this ever happened to you in high school or even your adult life where you just got rejected from a dating prospect for the color of your skin, your ethnicity, your background? It's a crappy feeling, but hey, I won in the end. I found my man. So, anyways. So for more storytime, entertainment, and food reviews, please like and subscribe, and as usual, stay curious, my friends.